Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So today in this video I'm going to show you a very interesting scenario unfolding right now with Bitcoin price action and also with Ethereum, because right now if we start our analysis by looking at this price structure here of Bitcoin USD in a weekly time frame using this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, right now this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve in a weekly time frame is flashing a very bullish move towards the next possible Fibonacci level of 76.39, which is going to be around 61 to 62,000 price level in the upcoming weeks for Bitcoin. Because if you monitor this price movement inside this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, you can see whenever we had this movement here, this impulsive move here in an upward direction following this rising trend line here, guys, the price here came to test the top of this channel. Here you can see a rising trend line, price came and tested the top of this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. And now if this similar scenario is also going to unfold and the price of Bitcoin is also going to follow this rising trend line here, then there is also a possibility that we could come across this top of the channel, and the top of the channel in a bigger time frame is going to be around 100,000 price level. So this is also flashing us that in a bigger time frame the price of Bitcoin still looks pretty bullish, because right now since the price here has broken out of this red line, which is 61.80 Fibonacci level, now if we are not going to reach this top line, then at least the price of Bitcoin must come across this 76.39 Fibonacci level, and that is going to be around, as I've already said you, 61 to 62,000 price level here in upcoming weeks. Because whenever we were able to break out of this red line area, the 61.80 Fibonacci level, price always tested the 76.39 Fibonacci level, this yellow line. Here you can see we broke above this red line, which is the 61.80, then tested the yellow line, that is 76.39 Fibonacci level. We broke out of this red line. We didn't reach the top of this channel, but still we were able to reach this 76.39 Fibonacci level before getting price pullback. So that's why if you look at this right now, in our case, since the price here has already pierced through this 61.80 Fibonacci level, the next possible target is going to be the 76.39 Fibonacci lines. And if you are looking for any sort of a price pullback, then we know this rising trend line for now in a logarithmic growth curve is going to be a very supportive line, and there is also a very likely scenario that we are going to see some sort of an impulsive move at least towards this 76.39 Fibonacci level. So now let's also look at this scenario in a daily time frame. And also Phemex right now is giving away a $680 bonus to those individuals who sign up using my ref link down below. So we only have 6 more days to claim this free bonuses, so why not to grab this opportunity? And you can see guys, right now in a daily time frame, the price of Bitcoin is flashing a very interesting scenario, which is also known as WYCKOFF's RE-ACCUMULATIon phase. And I have been calling this move here, this WYCKOFF RE-ACCUMULATIon phase, since over a month now. And I also said to you guys, if we are able to break out of this rates line, then we are going to see another impulsive move here in an upward direction, because according to this WYCKOFF RE-ACCUMULATIon phase, after this impulsive move here, it's going to be more like a sideways market or consolidation type of scenario before price starts breaking an upper direction following this another impulsive move. And this is exactly what we talked, and this is also what is happening right now with Bitcoin price action. But now if we look at this here example, I also showed you this RE-ACCUMULATIon phase type of scenario. Any sort of a price pullback around this area is going to be another buying opportunity. Look at this consolidation phase, like a shakeout type of scenario, again breakout. So even if we are going to see any sort of a pullback type of scenario, let me say you one thing, this rising trend line here, right, could be again acting as a very strong support line. So any sort of a price pullback, we can see this rising trend line could be acting as a very strong support, because we are aware that the price cannot always continue in this manner, right? So even if we are going to see any sort of a pullback, we know this rising trend line is going to act as a support, and this is still going to continue further in an upward direction, because in a weekly time frame I just showed you how bullish the trend actually looks like. And we have been also calling this move here, this impulsive move in an upward direction, since days now, and this is exactly what is unfolding right now with Bitcoin, also in a daily time frame and also in a weekly time frame. Now let's look at this in a 4-hour time frame. So if you look at this price structure in a 4-hour time frame, you can see how interesting the price movement right now looks like, because this here was the scenario which we talked in my previous video. I told you guys, if you look at this price structure using just this rising channel or so-called ascending channel, this upper line was a very strong resistance line, right? We can see the price got a rejection every time when we reached at this upper area, but right now the price here is clearly broken out of this upper line area any sort of a pullback, the upper line which previously acted as a resistance could be acting as a strong support, and the trend here could still continue further in an upper direction. And if you have watched my video, I also included this simple scenario because you can see not only just we are finding resistance, but we were also finding support at this lower end area. And for that, what I did was I added this simple ascending channel scenario, and I even said you guys that since the price here is also forming another ascending channel inside this bigger ascending channel, right, the smaller ascending channel inside this bigger ascending channel, this is the reason why we are finding here a really nice support here to the downside, and also from the bigger scenario, the bigger ascending channel, we are finding resistance. So if you delete both, right, if you delete both this ascending channel, then you can see this was a very nice rising wedge type of scenario. So as I've already said you, any sort of a pullback, the upper line here could be acting as a very strong support. But what I'm actually going to do here, if we are going to continue in upper direction, I will be adding this Fibonacci extension from this low till this swing high and look at upward price target for Bitcoin. The price here is clearly flashing that we could be, right, we could be heading towards this 53,000 price level here in an upward direction. You can see here this 100% Fibonacci extension level. This 53,000 is our next possible target for Bitcoin, because if this is also going to show any sort of a correction, then we know this upper line which previously acted as the resistance is going to be a very strong support, and then we could still continue towards this 100% Fibonacci extension level of 53,000 price level. And also not finding any support at this upper line of this rising wedge, then this line here 47,800, 47,900 is again going to be a very strong support, right? And then this is still going to be a impulsive move in this manner according to my analysis, because as I've already said you guys, this trend here does looks pretty bullish. And if you want to say, hey, I want to look at this bit differently, no problem, because what we can do is we can also look at this using this simple central pivot range indicator, the CPR. This is a leading indicator, and this has always provided us information beforehand, right? So now you can see the price here has clearly found support above this arrow 2 line of 48,800, 48,900, which previously acted as a resistance. After finding support, we are heading to the upside, and according to the CPR, the next possible target here to the upside is going to be this green line here at 55,600. So the Fibonacci line, the first target is going to be 53,000, and after that the next target would be 55,000 to 55,600 here in an upward direction. And why this impulsive move could continue further, because if you look here to the downside and also monitor this on balance volume, let me make it a bit bigger here, so you can see broke out of the previous top here, right? For example, this one here, it actually indicated a very impulsive move in an upward direction. If you look at the previous example here, look at this. Whenever we broke out this previous high, a very impulsive move followed after that, right? This on balance volume showed a very impulsive move. If you go backward, you can also see here similar structure. Broke out of this temporary high, previous temporary high, and what happened after that? A very impulsive move followed after that. And this could be another scenario. Even if we are going to see any sort of a pullback, as I've already said you, this unbalanced volume could be flashing a move again. This another impulsive move in an upward direction. And this is also giving us a very strong indication that this trend actually does looks pretty bullish right now. And if you look at this RSI line, this RSI line is also around 68.82, which is above 50 level. So as I've already said you, RSI line above 50 level is still a very nice bullish indication. So these are some of the scenario I see right now looking at the price action of Bitcoin. So now let's also have a quick look at Ether price action. So now what is unfolding here for Ether in a daily time frame? Because if you monitor the price movement, you can see this rising channel, a so-called ascending channel, is not letting price to break out of this upper line area. Bitcoin did. After that we saw impulsive move, but Ether is getting rejection. It doesn't mean the trend is bearish. We have to understand, right? Because we know inside this ascending channel we can also see another ascending channel in a bit different way, right? So you can see the lower end area, which previously acted as a resistance, is acting as a very strong support. So you can see now the price of Ether is in some sort of a movement in this manner, which is known as broadening wedge. If you delete both the scenarios, you can see the price here could be forming a very nice broadening wedge type of scenario. So according to this price movement here, what we can expect is more likely a move in this manner. The lower end area is going to act as a support, and then again maybe it's going to be a move here in this manner. It's not showing this impulsive move just like Bitcoin, but maybe it's going to take some more time. But I'm actually pretty like sure that price of Ether will be breaking 2000 price level very soon. And if that's going to happen for us, the upper target here is going to be around this price level of, you can see 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, and this is going to be around 2200 price level. So right now 1700 is acting as a very strong support along with this lower line of this ascending broadening wedge. So if this is going to take place, then we are going to see some sort of more like maybe a consolidation before price starts moving in an upper direction in a daily time frame. And now let's look at this in a 4-hour time frame, because we want to know what exactly could also be playing inside this price structure here. So if we look at this here in a 4-hour time frame, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to add this rising trend line, because this rising trend line is clearly flashing us what kind of scenario could be playing out if you monitor only around this price level here. Because if we look at this in a 4-hour time using this ascending channel, you can see the upper line here is rejecting the price, right, to break in an upper direction. Lower line is acting as a support. That can be seen very nicely. But for us right now, I showed you in my previous video that this price level along with this trend line area here, this trend line was a very important line, and this exact trend line is rejecting the price again and again. And you can see that, right? Because you can see whenever we were able to find support, we had this impulsive move towards this upper line area. So now I'm going to show you why this time this 1820 level could be breaking out pretty soon. Because if you look only at this price movement here, monitor this price movement here, this could be forming a very nice double bottom type of scenario. You can see here, right? Double bottom type of scenario. So neckline is also now around this 1820 to 1830. So there is a very likely scenario that if we are going to break out of it, also find support, then we could be making another new all-time high towards this upper line area of this ascending channel. Because not just only with the help of this ascending channel or this double bottom type of scenario which is flashing a bullish move, but if you look at this with this simple scenario which I always like to look, 1 2 3 reversal pattern, and according to this 1 2 3 reversal pattern, this breakout is very likely to happen as soon as we break out of this neckline area of 1820 to 1830 price level. And if you want to say, hey, we want to look at this again in a bit different way, I can add another possible scenario known as descending broadening wedge, because according to this descending broadening wedge also you can see the price here is showing some sort of a rejection, because this is upper line area, but we know as soon as we break out of it, then a impulsive move could be falling for Ether. And in that case if this is going to break out, right, as a descending broadening wedge, the upper target, as you can see exactly at this top of this ascending channel, which could be around 1900 to 1950 price level. So guys, these are some of the scenario thought sharing with you in today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, then hit the like button, and also if you're watching this for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.